Are you looking to grow revenues, increase profitability, or obtain financing? If so, you came to the right place.
Running a business is all about leadership. How do you become a better leader? Learn from the successful entrepreneurs and business owners how to lead your organization more effectively. That's why we created Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business, to help you succeed with your host, Andrew Frazier, Business Growth Pro and CFO and founder of the Small Business Pro University. Every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're joined by experienced entrepreneurs and business owners who share their secrets to success via Livestream. Also, every Friday morning, we release a new podcast episode. Either way, you will learn about developing your business leadership skills from our roster of highly performing guest experts. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at SBProU.com.
Good evening. Welcome back to Leadership Live. I'm your host, Andrew Frazier, and it's exciting to be back hanging out with you again this evening. Hopefully you guys are having a good week so far. I know this is a pretty stressful time, but hopefully things will be over before tomorrow and everybody can move forward in whichever direction we need to move forward. But figured tonight, definitely want to continue to, bring you great programming and, useful knowledge for entrepreneurs and business owners. So definitely wanted to continue to have the show tonight. We're going to do it a little different tonight. Had to make an adjustment and push back our speaker from tonight till next Tuesday. So what you got tonight is you got me, but we're going to do an Ask an Expert session. And I think that excited to do that because you get to ask anything you'd like to know about or any questions you have as far as small business, as well as I have some additional things to share with you that can be helpful for you as a small business owner. So thanks again for tuning in. Hey, Karen, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. If you're on, just say hello in the chat. Let's see who we got with us tonight. And, we'll just make the most of tonight and, share some useful stuff. So a lot going on this week in our world. This week, many of you know, each year we do, power breakfast events like once, 3 to 4 times a year. So this Thursday evening, we're going to be networking at the Montclair Brewery in Montclair, New Jersey. So hopefully, if you're available, definitely come check us out. Hey, Patrick, glad you're joining us as well. And then Friday morning, we're going to have our Power Breakfast event in Florham Park at the Park Avenue Club. So excellent. So definitely, we're going to talk about the Masterpreneur Path, and definitely look forward to sharing that with you today. So before we do that, we have a brand new video of sort of what the Small Business Pro University is all about. So I'd like to share it with you and would love your feedback, comments, and ideas on that. We're really looking to expand and provide, even greater resources and valuable content and knowledge for entrepreneurs and business owners. So I'm going to just give you a preview, take a look at the new university. It's going to take a couple minutes, but definitely look forward to hearing it. And then while you're doing that, think about questions you want to ask. You can even start putting questions you want to ask in the chat. And, we'll go through them tonight and look forward to answering whatever you'd like to chat about. So thanks. And here's the new Small Business Pro University video. Many small businesses experience low or no revenue growth, and the owners are not making enough money. I founded Small Business Pro University to help you break that cycle by empowering you with greater knowledge and enhanced skills to lead your organization more effectively. Over the past 15 years, I've collaborated with organizations like the Small Business Development Center, Rising Tide Capital, Empower the Village, NJMEP, Rutgers University, and SCORE to work one-on-one with over 1,000 business owners and teach tens of thousands of people about business. My experience includes serving as a naval officer, managing businesses, graduating from MIT, earning an MBA from NYU, and achieving the CFA designation, which has prepared me to accomplish my mission of helping 1 million and 8 business owners to sell more, maximize profit, and finance growth by 2028. My vision is to create the ultimate business ecosystem for entrepreneurs. Small Business Pro University empowers entrepreneurs like you to run their businesses more professionally and create sustainable enterprises. We employ my proven proprietary Masterpreneur Playbook Framework to guide your journey along the Masterpreneur Path and facilitate your Masterpreneur evolution to work on your business and scale faster and easier. Small Business Pro University provides access to valuable resources, partnerships, and relationships that will help you to sell more, maximize profit, and finance growth. Our Masterpreneur initiatives include the Small Business Pro Network, a private member community for entrepreneurs seeking growth. More than 100 expert-led multimedia courses and training programs with more than 2,500 lessons.
I've never been provided information where it says, do this, do that, do this, do that. I don't know how else to describe it than saying the best that I've came across.
Masterclasses on business planning, strategy, financing, sales, and digital marketing.
Great, good, practical information that is good for both entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs. You know, Andrew breaks it down in a very understandable way, very complex information.
Intensive training workshops like the Profit Maximization Series, Masterpreneur Growth Accelerator, and Small Business Pro Certification Program.
You know, this class definitely helped a lot. You know, I definitely learned a lot. The financials was a big help. You know, I knew a little bit, but not as much as Andrew knew. You know, he explained it really well.
We also have Spanish language training and resources.
Tanto su libro como el programa que ofrece son una base fundamental para que puedas llevar tu negocio al próximo nivel y empezar a manejarlo como un profesional. Andrew Frazier tiene un programa que de seguro te va a beneficiar.
Every week, we do a live stream and podcast called Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. Over 200 episodes have aired. These episodes have shared a trove of valuable knowledge for entrepreneurs on how they can sell more, maximize profit, and finance growth. The Power Breakfast series, in-person events where business owners learn best practices, enjoy great networking, and gain useful knowledge. Over the past 12 years, attendees have benefited from tens of millions of dollars in revenue and financing.
We are very thrilled for this partnership and create forums like this for entrepreneurs and small business owners to meet, interact, learn, and network.
And advisory services such as strategy sessions, assessments, coaching, and consulting.
So bringing in external help, like guys like Andrew, to come in and help me structure my business really helped us set the business in the right path.
He's been helping me with my financials, making sure everything's together, what's working versus what's not working in my business, so that I'm working on my business and not in my business, period.
We meet you where you are and help you to get to where you want to be, faster and easier. Our comprehensive suite of flexible solutions provide the support that you need to overcome challenges and take advantage of new opportunities, whether it's done by you, done with you, done for you, or done by our trusted partners for you. If you want to sell more and make more, you need to check out Small Business Pro University. You'll need Small Business Pro University resources if you want to work on your business and scale. You'll need to join Small Business Pro University if you want to create a sustainable business that can run successfully without you. You'll need to visit Small Business Pro University website at www.sbprou.com if you want to learn more and get started. We'll empower you to thrive, not just survive, and make more money in any business environment. Good evening and welcome back to Leadership Live at 8:05. Tonight we're going to have an Ask the Expert session. We're going to share some things about, number one, what's your most important job as a business, business person, entrepreneur, and why, and what does that mean for you? And then also we're going to talk about the Masterpreneur Path and the Masterpreneur evolution, how you take your business from startup to scaling. So, we're going to share some great things, invite you to check-ins, just say what's up in the chat. Thanks already for comments from Karen, welcome. Patrick, welcome as well. We've got Mario, thanks for joining us as well. Profit Power, and Sajib. So hopefully I didn't mess your name up, but let me know. And if so, I apologize. But so let's take a look. One of the first things I ask business owners is, what is your most important job as a business owner? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to be a business owner, you should know what you should do. So surprisingly, many business owners don't really know that. And as a result, that can be detrimental to the success of their business. So definitely, the first thing I always, want to make sure is that every business owner knows your most important job is marketing and selling. So S&M, sales and marketing. So because of that, it's important, number one, to spend time doing it. And number two, to know how to do it well. So, if you're a business owner, you have to commit to the time that you have to spend to sell and market effectively, but also you need to commit to learning how to do it effectively. A lot of business owners just go out there and do what they think they should do, but you're just out there winging it. So you're just doing stuff and hoping that it's going to be useful. But at the end of the day, if you make an investment in sales and marketing, that's one of the best investments that you can make in your business. So, knowing that it's sales and marketing. Number two, spending, time doing sales and marketing. I recommend 2 hours a day to do sales and marketing activities. And that may sound like a lot, but it really isn't, because there's so many things that go in to what marketing and selling activities can be. So, and then, number three, you want to be good at it. You're going to get way better results if you know how to do what you're trying to do. And, when you think about it, marketing and sales are two different things. And so, that's one of the first things on the education side is you got to know that marketing and sales are not the same thing. And some people who are good at sales may not be good at marketing, and some people who are good at marketing may not be good at sales. So it's it's important to understand their different skills, and not everybody knows, the difference. But not only that, the better you market, the easier it is to sell. And if you get good enough at marketing, then you don't have to sell anymore. So sales and marketing is key, but marketing's really going to drive your success, and that's what's going to allow you to scale. So, so definitely, you need to develop your skills in marketing. But that may be easier said than done. There's a lot of information out there about marketing, but most of that information is for large businesses. It helps large businesses market more effectively. The problem is small businesses are totally different, and really effective marketing for a small business many times is the opposite of what effective marketing for a large business is. So, just because you're doing what seems like is marketing that may not be the right type of marketing for your business. So you have to be careful about what you're learning, who you're learning it from, to make sure that it's more appropriate for you as a business owner, as a small business owner. So, that's important. And then the other thing is, most people don't really know what marketing really is. So as a result, they don't get, or you don't get the results that you should, and are starting out looking at marketing in the wrong way. So that's, one of the key things I talk to business owners about, work with business owners about, and really understanding what marketing is all about. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'll go into some details and share some things about marketing, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing you can do to increase the success of your business. So we'll continue with this, but definitely feel free to appreciate your comments. Keep them coming. As well, if you have questions, you want me to cover something or hit on something, don't hesitate to put that in the chat as well. I'm going to take a short break. This week, I mentioned we're going to have our Power Breakfast, and we're going to have our Power Networking event. So I have a couple of short videos just so you can see sort of what they're all about. And then I'll come back and we'll continue talking about your most important job, sales and marketing. I hope that you can join us for the Power Network event at Montclair Brewery on Thursday, November 7th. Meet with like-minded entrepreneurs in a relaxed environment to chat, connect, and collaborate. I'm Andrew Frazier. Please join me at our Power Network event, and I look forward to introducing you to our members. To learn more and register, visit www.sbprou.com/power-network. That's www.sbprou.com/power-network today.
This event was a wow. Every panel, every speaker has had so much amazing content and good information to share.
This is a good day to put aside to come out and do some learning, but also make some great connections. The ones that I made were impactful.
Hi, I'm Andrew Frazier, Masterpreneur and founder of Small Business Pro University. For more than 10 years, our Power Breakfast events have directly resulted in tens of millions of dollars in both revenue and financing for attendees. Join me at the Power Breakfast at the Park Avenue Club in Florham Park on Friday, November 8th, to learn best practices, enjoy great networking, and gain useful knowledge. We will supercharge your day.
Hi, I'm Lana Molina. We are very thrilled for this partnership to put much needed small business financial literacy education and create forums like this for entrepreneurs and small business owners to meet, interact, learn, and network.
This Power Breakfast theme is selling more and maximizing profit. This time, I'll be the featured guest speaker, and I will be talking about how to become a masterpreneur.
There's 5 steps to growing your business, and really laying out what those steps are, but not only what the steps are, how do you transition through them? And each stage you have certain things. There's a certain challenge that you have to overcome, there's a certain goal you have to achieve, there's a certain role you have as a business owner, there's a certain structure that you need to have within your business to support that role and move into the next role. So each step, I lay out what those things are.
After enjoying some power networking, Gene Bahinsky will moderate an expert panel on achieving your goals and taking your business to new heights. I look forward to seeing you at the Power Breakfast at the Park Avenue Club in Florham Park on Friday, November 8th. To learn more and register, visit www.sbprou.com/power-breakfast. Take advantage of early bird pricing by registering today at www.sbprou.com/power-breakfast. Okay. Welcome back. We're going to be talking about your most important job as a business owner. So we talked about your most important job being sales and marketing. And we talked about, you have to spend time doing it, an appropriate amount of time. You need to know that you need to do it, and you need to know how to do it effectively. So, definitely marketing is key, because the better you market, the easier it is to sell. But, what is marketing? And especially for a small business, how is small business marketing different than large business? And what should we do? Especially given that most people, even marketing people, don't really understand what marketing is all about. They, many times they just understand a marketing tool or two. But before you have a tool, you have to have a strategy. And one way that kind of highlights what this is all about is a gentleman named Alan Dibb wrote the one-page marketing plan. And one other thing he did was put together a definition of marketing, which I think is great, because it really lays out marketing in a good way. So I'm just going to read the definition, because I think a lot of people get value out of it when I'm sitting down coaching and counseling them on it, so that we're on the same page when we're developing their marketing plan and marketing strategy. So here's Alan Dibb's definition of marketing. If the circus is coming to town and you paint a sign saying the circus is coming to town, that's advertising. If you put the sign on the back of an elephant and the elephant walks through the mayor's flower bed and the local newspaper writes about it, that's publicity. If you get the mayor to laugh about it, that's public relations. And if the sound citizens go to the circus, you explain how much fun they'll have spending money at the booths, answer their questions, and ultimately they spend a lot at the circus. That's sales. But if you plan the whole thing, that's marketing. So marketing is all encompassing, and it's about a plan and a strategy. So developing your plan and strategy, but before you determine, how should I implement this strategy? So many times we start with how are we going to implement stuff without even really having a plan or a strategy. And as a result, your strategy, what you're doing is not aligned. So you're not going to get the maximum benefit from what you're doing, and you're going to be spending a lot more effort for a lot less results. So definitely, when we're talking about sales and marketing, the first step is developing your marketing strategy, which you outline in your marketing plan, which is part of your business plan. So, definitely, that's really key. If you're going to be successful in business, you've got to sell and market your products and services successfully. And to do that successfully, you need to know what you're doing and become better and continually become better. Even the best salespeople and the best marketers continue to go to training, continue to learn, continue to develop, because the environment is continually changing. The market's changing, your customer is changing, the customer needs are changing. So you as a business owner have to continue to develop your skills, continue to learn about how to market more effectively, continue to develop your sales skills. That's really your most important job as a business owner. So definitely want to cover that, cover that as much as possible, just so it sinks in. And, hopefully you take me up on that. And then just, developing it in a plan, developing your strategy. I always say failing to plan is planning to fail, but very few business owners actually have a current business plan. So that's like the first place to start. Your business plan is a plan of plans, and your marketing plan is one of the plans that goes in your business plan. So it's important to really, understand that, and as a result, utilize that knowledge to, to sell more, so you can make more. So covered that. Any questions? I talked a little bit about sales and marketing. Definitely opened up tonight for questions. So definitely feel free to. I appreciate your comments too. So definitely thanks for tuning in and sharing your comments and whatever questions you may have as well. So what we're going to talk about next is we're going to talk about, I created the Masterpreneur Playbook Framework, and it's really about how to master growth from startup to scaling. And, there's really 5 steps that you and your business have to make and take to be able to successfully move forward from startup to scaling. Now, every business is different. Every business owner is different. Some businesses and business owners are able to transition, traverse that path quickly, but that path can take many years to traverse, going from startup to scaling. And most businesses never, ever complete the path. That may be because that's not their goal. That may be because they're not sure how to do it. They may not have the skills or the knowledge. They may not have the resources. But what I wanted to do with the Masterpreneur Playbook is just lay out the path and how to traverse it successfully, so that if you're a business owner that wants to create a scalable business that's sustainable and can run without you successfully, you have the roadmap. You can see exactly where you need to go and what you need to do. So I mentioned there's 5 steps. Most people don't quite successfully even reach the 3rd step. So, that's really where you go from working in your business to on your business. So, focus a lot on helping people make that transition, because it's not easy. And many times you have to develop new skills, learn new things. And then not only that, transition from working in your business to working on your business, but also working on your business to working on the future of your business, because that's a whole different set of skills and capabilities. So, less than 5% of businesses generally achieve successfully working on their business. And then probably 5% of those 5% actually successfully work on the future of their business. And then 5% of those 5% successfully scale their business. So as you can see, being a scale, creating a scalable business, you're talking about 1 in 10,000, 1 in 100,000 businesses. But, given that's the case, that doesn't mean you can't do it. A lot of people get knocked out of it just because they're not ready. They don't have a plan. They don't have a strategy. So by pulling all these things together, it makes it so much more likely that you're going to be able to grow your business successfully. So, we're going to dig into that and take more of a look at what it takes to grow your business, and take a look at my Masterpreneur Playbook. Before we do that, I'm just going to share a little bit. I have, like you saw in the Small Business Pro University video, we are, building our, online capabilities, online content, and learning, so that you can maximize and get the most out of, the great things I've learned over the years. Plus, not only that, the great things that, many other small business experts have learned across the board on a holistic level in, all types of areas. So one of the opportunities to really take advantage of that is we created we're launching a new membership types that can focus on sort of where you want to take advantage of. Our basic member is the let's see, I'm going to show a short video. Let me just make sure I get the right one. And okay, and this is about the different memberships that we have. Hi, I'm Andrew Frazier, founder of Small Business Pro University. I've worked one-on-one with more than 1,000 diverse small business owners and taught tens of thousands of people about business. If you're looking to work on your business instead of in it, or to scale your business and take it to the next level, you need to join Small Business Pro University for a supportive community of like-minded entrepreneurs, business education on your terms, when, where, and how you prefer, live virtual training on critical topics by small business experts, and a directory of trusted service providers to assist you with your growth. We have 3 options that you can choose from: the Masterpreneur Club for business owners who have achieved a certain level of success and are looking to scale, the Small Business Pro Growth Accelerator for business owners and future business owners who want to work on their business rather than in it, and our associate membership for those seeking to join the community, test drive some courses, and gain access to resources. To join, visit www.sbprou.com/membership to learn more about our membership options and select the tier that's most appropriate for your business. That's www.sbprou.com/membership. Okay, and here's a little bit about the associate membership. What is the ultimate business ecosystem for helping entrepreneurs to accelerate and grow their business? Of course, the Small Business Pro University. Become an associate member to enjoy the benefits like accessing a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, test driving multimedia, online, on-demand mini courses on important business topics, participating in live Ask the Expert and Power Networking sessions. Hello, my name is Andrew Frazier. I've worked one-on-one with over 1,000 business owners and taught more than 10,000 people about business. Join today to take advantage of charter membership pricing. Visit www.sbprou.com/membership and join today. Okay, welcome back. Definitely getting ready to talk about the Masterpreneur Playbook Framework. Got a question for Michael. How can we apply the Masterpreneur Playbook to small startups? Excellent question. So, what I'm going to do is walk you through the 5 steps, and then each step I'm going to explain sort of how you apply the framework to each of the steps. And the first step is on the startup phase. So look forward to sharing that again. So definitely, we're going to talk and answer your question about how to apply the Masterpreneur Playbook to small startups. So first, let's take a look at the framework and sort of what it looks like. Based on my experience over the years, looking at businesses that, that I've owned, that I've worked with, and that I've worked for, I've seen a progression of what, businesses in every stage of, evolution, and looked at, what makes them successfully be able to move from stage to stage, and what is required in each stage for them to be successful in that stage. And that's really what I poured out into the Masterpreneur framework. So even though you'll see that I shared in an easy way to understand, there's a lot that goes into it. And we're just going to scratch the surface. But first is the model. So with the Masterpreneur Playbook, there's really what I call the Masterpreneur Journey. Your business, or any business, to go from startup to scaling, there's two components. There's two sides to what it takes. So the first side is the path that your business has to take. So your business has to take a certain path. But, just knowing the path isn't walking the path. You Matrix fans would, definitely Neo. Just because you know the path, what you're supposed to do, doesn't mean you're ready or can do what you're supposed to do. So the first part is knowing the path, and that's the Masterpreneur Path. And the second part is the Masterpreneur Evolution. You as an entrepreneur and a business owner need to evolve so that you can successfully transition through each step of the path. So, it's your business has to do certain things, and you have to do certain things. And your business can only go as far as you're prepared to take it. So that's why you have to evolve. And your business is going to be stuck until you are prepared to take it to the next level. So, so when we talk about the path step one talks about working on the concept of your business. You've got to develop, the concept of your business. You got to develop your business plan. You have to figure out your target market, your marketing plan. Now, many businesses sort of skip this step, but by skipping this step or not doing it well, it just keeps you stuck in between step one and step two most of the time. Because until you are able to find a product and a market for your product or service, you're not going to be able to make any sales. So you're still going to be working on the concept of your business. So putting the effort in at the beginning and, really focusing on developing your marketing plan and your marketing strategy, testing it out, and, having a solid business plan is really what's working on the concept of your business. Working in your business, that's once you've been able to make some sales. You need to be able to make at least 5 to 10 grand in sales to really be in business. Before that, you're sort of working on being in business, but until you made 5 or 10K in sales, you're really sort of working on the concept, figuring out your product and your service, what's the market, and finding a fit where people are actually purchasing your products and services. So, the first step is really developing a product and finding a market that's willing to purchase it. And that's really about doing your marketing plan. We talked earlier about, marketing strategy, laying that out. So working on the concept of your business, step one, that's what it's all about. Step two, working in your business. So, when you're working in your business, you're really working to find the right product market fit so that, you're working, and you're also working in the business to be able to start setting processes and start just really figuring out, how are you going to sell? How can you sell successfully? And, how can you deliver your sales successfully? So, step two, working in your business, you're focused on your business. You're trying to get enough sales, and you're trying to deliver on enough sales. So, until you can get enough sales, you're not going to be able to work on your business because, you have to figure out the business that's going to be able to grow. So, until you get to at least 100,000 in sales, you're still working in your business. And depending the type of business you have, it might be 250, 500,000 in sales before you're able to successfully work on your business. And, depending on you and your capabilities and how you lead. So, you got step 1, working on the concept, step 2, working in your business, and step 3, working on your business. And that's a whole different skill set. Step 3 is really about optimizing your business. So you're really acting, and the skill set of being a manager is critical. You can't improve anything without measuring it. So being able to measure your performance, set goals, optimize processes, standardize things is critical. So if you're going to go from working in your business to working on your business, those are the things that you're going to have to do. And, in my book, Running Your Small Business Like a Pro, the 3rd chapter is called What is Your Greatest Fear? And most business owners fear numbers and analysis. So if you can never work on your business if you don't measure what you're doing. You can't do it without numbers. You have to understand your financials. So you have to put your financials in order. So going from working in your business to working on your business, that's why it's so difficult for many people, because the skill set is different from a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners' strengths. And many times you may need to get help. I work with a lot of business owners on setting things up and structuring them so they can continue to move beyond, because your business is never going to get it's going to be stuck at a certain point until you actually are able to do those things. And then working on the future, it's really about developing your growth strategy. And then last but not least, working on scaling your business. And in each stage, you actually have an objective. So there's something that you need to work on in each stage to make it to the next stage. But there's also a certain challenge that you're going to have in each stage that you have to overcome. So between the objective and the challenge, that's what has to happen for you to move forward. That's what's going from startup to scaling in terms of your business. Any questions where we are here? I know I covered a lot, got a question here, and let me just cover that. Let's see. How do you recommend finding and keeping the right talent for growth? Okay, well, definitely that's an important thing. As a small business, first, many times it's going to be you, because you're not going to have the resources to invest in a lot of team as you're starting out. But as you grow, you're growing your revenues. To move through each step, you have to continue to grow your revenues. So as you're growing revenues, you can bring people on. But you have to keep in mind, at the end of the day, you have to own your marketing strategy, because nobody's going to understand your products and services and your market better than you. Until you get to the point where you can bring on a professional management team. But generally, that's at the point where you're really working on the future of your business, where you've generated a good amount of revenues ongoing. But early on, you're going to play an important role in getting your business to that level. So, you want to attract talent, but you're going to be a lot of the talent as well early on. And in small business, we've talked about on several shows, is it's very difficult to hire a salesperson for a small business, and most of them are not successful. So for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason is they're set up to fail because they don't have the tools. The organization doesn't know how to support them or doesn't know how to use them. And they're expected to just make sales on their own. So it's really important to really have a sales and marketing strategy. And, if they're a salesperson, that doesn't mean they're good at marketing. So you have to have a marketing strategy and a plan for them to execute to. You can't just expect them to figure all that out for you. So, so it's so important to plan and develop your strategies for growth. So hopefully that answers your question. Let me know if you want me to kind of chat a little bit more about it. But, if you're looking at growing your business, you definitely, you're a big piece of the talent, especially early on. And then as you continue to grow, you're able to bring in and afford people, but you're still going to be an important piece of the equation until you get to a pretty decent size and to where you consistently are bringing in enough revenue to maintain a team. So, sometimes that may not be what you want to hear or what you want to do, but at the end of the day, small business, many times it takes twice as long and costs twice as much to do things. So, definitely there's a learning curve. There's dues you have to pay, but the sooner you learn things and the more strategic you are and the better you plan, the faster and easier you're going to move forward. So that's one of the reasons why I laid out the Masterpreneur Playbook Framework. So we just talked about the first half of it, and that's really about the path that your business has to take. But not only is there a path your business has to take, you need to evolve as a business owner. So what does that look like? What does that mean? So, there's just like there's 5 steps in the path, there's 5 stages of evolution. The first stage, you start out in the entrepreneur phase. During the entrepreneur phase, you're really focused on solving problems. And really the problem solving is developing a business plan and a product or service and matching it up with the right market. So, you're during the first stage, it's all about solving problems. Stage 2, once you're in business, starting to make sales, starting to run your business, you're really working on generating enough sales to be viable, as well as not just generating the sales, but you want to be able to deliver on them. So in stage 2, you're really acting as an employee or supervisor. You're focused more on the day-to-day or the week-to-week. So you got your head down working in the business, and you sort of have to do that until your business gets to a certain size. So, stage 2 is working on the business, but to get beyond working in the business. But to get beyond working in the business, first you have to generate enough revenue, because you can't work in the business you can't work on the business if you don't have anyone working in the business, or if you don't have enough people working in the business. So by generating enough revenue so that your products and services, you have enough of a team that your products and services can be delivered and sold successfully and allow you time to work on the business. So, and that's where a lot of people get stuck between stage 2 and stage 3, because they're not generating enough revenue so that they can have the team that can handle the day-to-day, the operational. And as a result, they have to spend a lot of their time doing that. So they got to work in their business rather than on it. But if you have enough revenue, then, that allows you to grow and move forward. So, it's one about, managing your business, but also it's about being able to, because you have the team. So to move from each level, you need to really develop your team behind you, so that as you move up, you have someone on your team that can take over the responsibilities that you're doing. So, going from stage 2, where it's really all about communications, communicating with your customers, to your market, to your team, and really being able to communicate effectively is what's going to allow you to generate enough revenues and be prepared to move from stage 2 to stage 3. Now, stage 3, you're a manager. That means you're focused on the month to month. But if you're focused on the month to month, you need to have people there that are focused on the day to day and the week to week. So, being an important piece of this is really building the structure that you need to continue to grow your business and allow you to focus on the things that you need to focus on. But not only that, having the skills to be able to do that. Like the first stage, it's about problem solving. The second stage, it's about communications. The third stage, it's all about analysis. You should be looking at all areas of your business and taking a look at how you can analyze it and, continually improve it, looking at things more on a longer term basis, month to month, as opposed to week or day to day, if you're working in the business. The next step is going from a manager to an executive. So if you're going to go from stage 3 to stage 4, you're going to go beyond just managing your business to really being an executive and planning and developing strategies for growth going forward. So, if you're going to be looking at growth strategies for the next quarter, then you need a manager who's looking at continually improving the business. And then you need a supervisor looking at week to week, making sure that things are getting done week to week. And then you have the employees that are making sure things are getting done day to day. So you have to build an organization. And for you to move up, you have to backfill so that you have someone doing the things that you were doing, so that you can move up and do the next higher level things. And then finally becoming a CEO, full-fledged CEO. That really means you have executives, you have managers, you have supervisors, you have employees. And really, when you get to that level, that's when you can scale successfully. So, you really, when you're scaling, it takes a different skill set, because, you become a symbol. So, when you're scaling, you're a symbol internally and externally. So, that's a whole different role than being executive, where you're strategizing and planning and coaching, from being a manager, where you're solving problems and, continually improving, to being an employee and supervisor who are delivering the products or services. So, that's really what the Masterpreneur Playbook Framework is all about. So, got a question here, and let's take a look. So, Sam, what's the best business model for startup staffing agencies? Okay, well, definitely every type of business is different. And, certain staffing agencies, depending on what type of staffing you're providing, may have a different business model. But, the key thing is really figuring out, okay, what's your product or service that you're delivering, and who's most likely to buy it from you. And then, how are you going to move forward with that? But then you have to analyze it, as part of your plan. Okay, what are the economics of my business? Okay, what am I selling it for? versus what is it costing me? How many do I think I'm going to be able to sell over a time period? Because you need to pull together, okay, well, what's my revenues look like? What do my expenses look like? And am I making money? And am I making enough money? So, there's a lot of models. You've got staffing agencies that hire out temps. You got staffing agencies that place people on a short-term basis. You have headhunting or search firms that place people full-time. Each one of those has a different business model. So I can't tell you for sure exactly what yours should be, because every business is different. We'd have to sit down and really look at what you're trying to do and model it out to see. That's one of the reasons why you do business plans, so you can model out what you're trying to do before you try and do it, to see if it's going to work. If you don't have a business plan, you're just trying things and hoping that it's going to give you the results that you would like. But if you take the time to do your business plan, you think through what you're doing, you develop a financial model that goes with it, then you're really just test running your business. So I hope that's helpful. And Karen, thanks for your feedback as well. Thank you, everybody, for your feedback. It's already almost 9, so I'm not going to keep you much longer, but definitely appreciate you tuning in. Hope you got something out of it. If nothing else, hopefully it gave you some peace in a way, and some time away from the stress of the election results. And and then we'll sort of see where things are going. So before I tune out, just if you're in New Jersey, you're welcome to join us on Thursday night at our Power Network event, Montclair Brewery. You can register it through our website. I think I put the link in the chat. If you're around Friday morning, our Power Breakfast is always great. That's going to be in Florham Park at the Park Avenue Club. You're welcome to join us there as well. And, keep an eye out for a lot of the other things we're doing. And, definitely looking forward to continuing. Each week we have a great guest. We're just pushed our guests back from this week to next week, given the situation. So next week we're going to have Gene Bahinsky, and we're going to talk about how to outsource everything so that you can save time and make more money. In this day and age, that's something you can do, and that may be something you should aspire to do, depending on the type of business you have. But it's important to really focus on the core values, and you can outsource or get help with a lot of the other stuff. So I look forward to talking to Gene Bahinsky about that, and looking forward to seeing what we're going to do next session. Thanks, Jack. Glad you're able to join in as well. So, at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur and business owner, if you want to be successful, the more that you know, the faster and more successfully you're going to grow.
Thank you for listening to Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at SBProU.com.